I believe we're really fortunate that there has been a sustainable media coverage of the war in Ukraine. However, as we're watching the news, I really would like everybody to be mindful of the fact that we, as well as journalists, have really limited access to occupied territories. For the most part, we only know about what is happening in those regions of Ukraine that are under Russian military control because of our personal connections and our colleagues. People in the occupied territories are often threatened even because of little glimpses of communications they might have with those who are living in Ukraine or abroad. I know personally from my colleagues and my friends that Russian military has been really aggressive towards educational institutions in the occupied territories. Russian military has moved into dormitories without letting students even take their personal belongings. They have not allowed parents to come into schools, while at the same time making kids and schools around the occupied territories pledge their allegiance to the Russian government, and anybody who would disobey would be punished. Neither parents of those students nor us outside of the occupied territories right now can help them. Even international organizations, unfortunately, do not have access to these places. But I think it's very important to remember that occupied territories are not just places. There are people living there who are every day experiencing occupation. And as we've seen most recently with the liberation of Kherson, these people are hopeful about their freedom, about a day when Ukraine will come back and take control and provide them with a free and safe life. I think over the time of this full-scale invasion, we've seen enormous solidarity, but at the same time, unfortunately, we became very well aware of the limited knowledge about Ukraine globally. So I want to encourage students and academics who are listening to this Teach Out to contribute to spreading information about Ukraine and learning more about Ukraine. I think we are the ones who can really ensure that Ukraine is no longer marginalized or forgotten, that Ukraine is not perceived just as a province of a Russian state. Students can ask for courses to learn more about Ukraine's history, language, culture, politics, decolonization efforts. I understand that right now physical travel is limited, but there are also opportunities to ask for a virtual exchange with a classroom in Ukraine that would not only allow you to learn more about the country, but it will also provide an opportunity to support those students and faculty who are still in Ukraine, teaching every single day, even from the bomb shelters. And of course, as academics, we can include case studies from Ukraine into our coursework. We can engage with our Ukrainian counterparts through research, as well as invite Ukrainian scholars to be guest speakers or research team members in projects that are already active. So overall, I would just ask you to remember about Ukraine and find a way to make sure that its voice is heard.